So hello everyone, thank you for joining our live info session. We are here today to tell you more about the iGorts program and to hear about our current Hello everyone, thank you for joining our live info session. We are here today to tell you more about the iGorts program and to hear about our current participants' experiences. But before we start, we would like to show you guys a short clip that shows the on the scene and behind the scenes of the iGorts program. So hello again. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Sarin. I am a birthright volunteer, and I'm currently interning at the Office of the High Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs, specifically working with the iGorts team. With us today, we have 3 current iGorts participants. I would like to welcome first Gasia Samuelian from Lebanon, who is currently working at the National Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the Ministry of Economy. And then we have Henri Vartano from the USA, who is working at the National Cinema Center. And last, we have Hagop Ipjian from Cyprus, who has joined us today from Artsakh. Hagop is an iGorts expert working for the government of Artsakh. We also have today with us Tarin Yakubian. Tarin was an iGorts participant in 2020 and is now working at the Office of the High Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs as the iGorts Program Manager. Tarin will now give us all information about the program and the application process for the iGorts 2022 program.
Thank you, Sari. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you all today. We are very excited to announce the launch of iGorts 2020 for its 3rd year of implementation. If you haven't already heard about our program, iGorts is a unique program that gives Armenian professionals from the diaspora the opportunity to come and serve in the public sector of Armenia. The main objectives of the program are to encourage professional repatriation and to bring the expertise and knowledge of the diaspora in service of the Republic of Armenia, helping the state institutions to further develop in various sectors. The call for iGorts 2022 has been launched on the 10th of March and will be receiving applications until the end of April. So who can actually apply to the iGorts program? The eligibility criteria for this year's participants is as follows. Our participants need to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree and at least 5 years of relevant work experience, or a master's degree and higher with at least 3 years of relevant work experience. The candidate should also have studied or worked in the diaspora for at least 5 years. And although this is not a mandatory requirement, basic fluency in spoken Armenian is highly desirable, as it will very much help with communication with your peers and colleagues at your place of work. For those of you who are not fluent in Armenian, please don't let this discourage you, as we realize that there are many highly qualified diaspora Armenians that might not be fluent in the Armenian language, and we will do our best to place you at an institution where the lack of knowledge will not be an impediment for you. Furthermore, we will be able to provide Armenian lessons for the participants who are in need of them. So what does the program actually offer its participants? In return for your contribution, the government of Armenia will be providing each participant with the following. You will all be receiving a round air ticket, a monthly stipend of 336,000 AMD, which is approximately 700 USD, which covers living expenses for the duration of your participation in the program, an emergency medical insurance, and the fees for a temporary one-year residence permit for those who require one. Candidates from diverse fields of expertise can apply. Our past and current iGorts participants are project managers, business experts, engineers, architects, environmental specialists, lawyers, health management specialists, high-tech experts, trainers, educators, linguists, cultural specialists, and so on and so on. The list of the fields of studies is published on our website, but please note that this is not an exhaustive list, and candidates from various fields of studies and from various sectors of expertise are encouraged to apply. For the application process, please note that you have the option to fill it in 3 different languages: Armenian, English, or Russian. Prior to filling in your application form online, please have the following documents ready. First, you need to have a short motivation letter prepared that includes your main reasons for application and your expectations from the program. Secondly, the program requires 2 reference letters. These can be obtained from academic professional circles or from a community member or leader from the Armenian diaspora community that you belong to. These reference letters can also be submitted in either of the 3 languages: English, Armenian, or Russian. Third, you need to have your resume or your CV at hand. Once you have all these 3 documents ready, start filling your application and submit it online. The selection process is as follows. The first stage is the initial shortlisting process. Following the deadline of the program, which is April 30th of the application, after which candidates will be invited for interviews with the respective ministries or departments that are in need of their expertise. Candidates might be able to have interviews in 1 or more of the different state institutions. Please note that you have the opportunity to note in your application form which are your preferred state institutions. However, we will be sending your CV to all the different state institutions which send in requirements that fit your professional experience or your academic experience. While we take your preferences into consideration, the matching will be done as follows. Institutions will be sent the potential applications from which they choose the candidates whom they will want to have an interview with. Once we receive their names, we will be contacting you in order to set a time and date for your different interviews at the public institutions. Following the interview process, candidates will receive the final response around July and August, and will receive a complete information pack to help them move to Armenia and start working in September 2022. Once accepted to work, our participants should be committed for a full year of full-time work in Armenia. He or she will have the opportunity to participate in forums and meetings with public officials, private sector representatives, and repatriates in Armenia, as well as will partake in excursions to visit historical and cultural sites in the regions of Armenia. Overall, the program gives an incredible opportunity for all our compatriots from the diaspora to serve in the public sector of Armenia, bringing their own expertise and experience to our homeland, where they will have the opportunity to initiate new projects, new practices, techniques, and instigate positive change to build our country together.
Thank you, Garin, for your detailed explanation. Also, to the audience, we will be taking questions, so feel free to comment your questions as the live goes on. And now we're going to hear a little bit from our participants and their experience. So to begin with, Gasya, you are currently placed at the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which is directed by Haik Markaryan, who is an iGorts alumni. So please tell us a bit about your professional background and your current projects that you're working on.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, Sarin. So I'm from Lebanon. I graduated from Haik Markaryan University with a degree in business administration. I worked in the banking sector for 3 years, and I also have my dad with our family-owned business. But after the Lebanese crisis, I moved to Armenia. But I always had the dream to move to Armenia, but iGorts gave me this opportunity. It is very helpful and motivating to work with an iGorts alumni because he's like a role model for us, because he moved to Armenia with his family. He did a fascinating job in less than a year, and he got appointed as the director of NCIE. Even though we lack some resources at our center, Haik's vision of making Armenia great and doing everything wholeheartedly has pushed us to do our best every day. We're currently working on 3 projects. The first one is AM Business, which is basically like a business support system for everyone who wants to set up a business or transfer their businesses to Armenia. We are trying to give an effective mechanism for them to have a transparent services, which is also under the Ministry of Economy. We're working on the technology transfer office, which is always helped by Armenians from the US. We are going to help the commercialize innovations and technologies of Armenian scientists. And we're also working on the Brain Gain channel, which is a YouTube channel that tries to, that works on reverse migration by bringing highly motivated and trained professionals, they could be Armenian or non-Armenian, to bring their expertise and work in the various sectors of Armenia.
Thank you for that, Kasia. We're also very happy to have iGorts experts such as Hago, who is in Artsakh this year and is contributing to solving the challenges that Artsakh now faces post-war. We know that there is still much to do in Artsakh, so Hago, can you please tell us a bit about your experience and what you're currently engaged with?
Hi everyone, my name is Hago. Just to let you know, Kasia has been restored in most of Artsakh. So I basically studied law. I'm from Cyprus, but I was living at least 14, 15 years in the UK, in London. I'm the head of the strategic coordination for humanitarian aid here in Artsakh. One of the things that we're working at this moment is creating a charity council where there'll be a better coordination for all humanitarian groups, foundations, charities that they want to do work in Artsakh. We also create and work on projects on agriculture, the health sector, economic development, and etc.
Thank you for that, Hago. Henri, you are the first iGorts participant to work at the National Cinema Center, and I know that the project you are working on is very interesting. Can you tell us more about your project and what motivated it?
Yes, absolutely. Very happy to be here. My project concerns Second Caravan, a lost film, a film that was previously considered lost before my research started looking into it. It's a film by an Armenian filmmaker named Amobek Nazaryan, very crucial to the history of Armenian cinema. And I became interested in him when I started looking into Armenian cinema and the opportunity to come to Armenia through iGorts. I found out that there's this one film that not a lot of people know about, that nobody has seen. And that was Second Caravan. It happened actually to be about repatriation of Armenians from America to, at the time, Soviet Armenia. So it could not be any more relevant to my own experience. I started looking into this film and doing a lot of archival work all over, actually, in Russia and Georgia and Armenia now. And I'm so fortunate to have taken on this project because it's brought me a lot of joy, and it's been a great source of passion for me, continuing passion and interest. So that's what brought me here.
Thank you so much, Henri. Something I want to touch on is that a lot of people that participate in the program might not have the knowledge of the Armenian language. Can you tell us about your experience as a non-Armenian speaker and how you overcame any challenges that someone may have?
Yes, it has been a bit challenging, of course, working in Armenia without, well, when I got here, without a working knowledge of the Armenian language. And even to this point where I've started to learn how to read and write in Armenian, but I'm still not conversable. I still cannot really carry a conversation, unfortunately. But my knowledge of obviously English and Russian has been very helpful, because all of my colleagues speak at least either Russian or English or both, and some of them very well. So actually speaking Russian has been both I would say a blessing and a curse. A blessing because It's made my transition a bit smoother and definitely allowed me to converse and communicate with a huge part of my team and with just on a day-to-day basis in Armenia. But the other part of it that's not so great is that I've used it as a crutch, basically, that has discouraged me, at least early on, to motivate myself, kick myself in the butt, and learn Armenian a bit sooner than I have to this point. So I would definitely encourage people to take opportunities to learn Armenian. If they are selected for the iGorts program, it'll definitely make their experience more engaging.
Thank you for that. Speaking of languages, Agop, you speak Western Armenian, so how are you able to integrate in Artsakh?
Well, it was challenging at first because here in Artsakh they speak a different dialect of Armenian, which is Barbar, and Russian. So yeah, the official language is Eastern Armenian, but knowing a little bit Eastern Armenian, understanding it, but not being able to converse in it, and also not knowing Barbar, which is a completely different Armenian altogether. So, and not knowing Russian can be challenging, but you get used to it. You need some time, but yeah, it's been a funny couple of months, but yeah.
Have you learned any Barbar?
Yeah, I've learned a few things. Like one of the things is ingidam, kidumchum, hunces, steres, ti la la ti ti li, which sounds like a song more than like an expression. But yeah, some of those,
It sounds like you're transitioning well.
Yeah.
So speaking of challenges, Gracia, what other challenges might iGorts participants face, and what advice would you give a future participant to overcome these challenges?
So other than the language challenge, I would say that they might face a cultural shock because there are some differences from the country that we originally come from, and that they are either acceptable or non-acceptable in Armenia. And we always think that because it is Armenia, it is our country, it should be complete without any faults, but we have to accept that Armenia has its challenges and problems. We have to decide we're either part of the problem or the solution. I would advise that some people might criticize your work, your language, your accent, but you should always stick to your vision and repeat to yourself why you're here and what you want to accomplish. Since it's only a 12-month program, which is very important, you have to make an impact in 12 months.
Thank you so much for that. Henri and then Hagop, if there's any other challenges that you guys would like to share and how you overcame them, I'm sure the audience would love to hear.
Yes, of course. My challenges have been logistic in nature. When I first got here, setting up my kind of living situation was a bit challenging. Finding the apartment, getting the utilities set up. Yeah, it might seem all banal, but it was important to get all that sorted so that I could feel comfortable living here and focus on the work that I needed to do. But none of the challenges were insurmountable. Like there was definitely a solution to every challenge. And in fact, some of the people that I have befriended here have been very helpful in solving all kinds of logistic problems. So you'll find that, yes, there are challenges, but there's always somebody willing to help. And all these challenges can be overcome, the logistic challenges, I mean.
Thank you, Henri.
Basically, look, working in a professional environment in the UK for so long, I found it a little bit hard to kind of the way that they work here, because I'm used to a set way of, communicating via email, not using the phone a lot, but basically, I'm going to put it professional, if you like, style of communication and etc. Here things are done a little bit differently, and it was quite hard for me to kind of, I had to call them and tell them, look, guys, I've sent you an email. Can you please check your email? And they're like, well, which email? How do I access that? And, it was a little bit odd in the beginning, but, you get used to these things. There are things that, you learn as you go. So I think all these challenges are nothing that, will stop you from, as Garcia said, putting down that vision and getting that done.
Thank you guys for sharing about those challenges. So let me direct the question back to Karin. A lot of people have questions about recommendation letters for the program. Can you elaborate a bit on it for more information?
Yes, of course, Sarin. The two recommendation letters or the reference letters that the program application requires are intended to actually give us a bit more insight about your skills, your experience, your professional life, your academic history. I would also like to touch on the previous question that you actually asked our participants. As a participant of the first cohort, I'd like to share my experience as well. Being part of the pilot cohort, the first cohort of iGorts was also very, very challenging. The program started right in the midst of COVID-19, and we were unaware whether we were going to be able to bring all our participants in. We were not going to be able to bring our participants in. And as soon as we all started in September and we eventually got all our 50 in country, unfortunately, the war started. And so our cohort faced many different challenges. Having said that, I think that one of the biggest challenges that we had was adaptation. Many of us also came from the private sector. The private sector in general is always a bit more flexible, a bit more agile than any public sector in the world. And I think that our participants need to bear that in mind and have a lot of agility and have a lot of flexibility when they come to work as an iGorts participant, because both of those are required. A lot of patience is also required in order to learn the new customs or the different customs. And once you do learn the customs and get in touch with your colleagues and find ways to communicate correctly with your colleagues, then you find that most people are trying their best and they are very helpful, and everybody around me is very interested in where I come from and my experience as well. So on the whole, my own experience, although the different challenges that I faced, was also very positive in that aspect. And I feel that I have been able to integrate.
Thank you, Karin, for sharing your experiences as well. Another question I would like Karin to answer is a common question that candidates usually have is, what if they can't commit for a full 12 months? Are they still eligible to apply to the program?
The iGorts program, one of the things that the iGorts program wants to do is to promote professional repatriation. We also feel in the program and in the Office of the High Commissioner for Diaspora Affairs that in order to fully be efficient in the projects that you undertake for the duration of your iGorts participation, that you actually need to be in country, and not only in country, in office, to actually get to really understand the challenges that our government faces firsthand. It's very different working in an office with your fellow colleagues than it is working with them online through the computer. Therefore, we do demand that all our participants are in country for the entire duration of the 12 months. Having said that, our participants do get 20 working days of vacation time. And if you are very interested in actually helping and participating in such a program but cannot commit to the 12 months, I do encourage you to contact our office. Our information and contact information is on our website, and we will be happy to engage with you and see how we can work together in order for you to also be able to contribute to developing our homeland.
Thank you, Karin. Speaking of volunteering and working for 12 months, I want to direct this question back to our participants. Starting with Garcia, do you feel that 12 months is enough time to make a significant impact here in Armenia?
Well, we were discussing this with my iGorts fellows and like a month ago, 2 weeks ago, that 12 months is not enough because at least you need the 3 months to adapt, to know where your office is, how everything works in your ministry or in your office, and who is responsible for you and what works you have to do. And then you have to end the like 20 days off. It's like 1 month, so it goes 4 months. You still have 8 months left, and then you're thinking about, should I enjoy Armenia? Am I going to spend time with my friends? I should do my work fully. So I think it should be more than 12 months. Now we're doing our best to make an impact in 12 months, but I think the diaspora's office should reconsider. Maybe they're already thinking about it, that they have to extend. But there's one thing maybe Karin can say about it, just that like from the 50 people, how many they had renewed contacts? Yeah, so this is like a professional repatriation. You have 12 months, you have to make a big impact, and you have to take your steps very good in order to think if you're gonna stay in Armenia or not, but most of us wants to stay.
Thank you for that.
Before you continue, I'll just add, yes, Kasia, you're right. At the end of our year, right at the end, we counted about 70% decided to stay in Armenia. Another 15 of us continued to work within the public institutions. We were very lucky last year, and the Hovnanian Foundation started a scholarship which enabled us to fund about 10 of our participants for a second year in order for them to be able to continue the projects that they started within the iGorts program. And the rest of us, the other 5 or 6, were actually offered positions within the public institutions that we were working in. We do consider the program to be very, very successful. Other than that, we do have iGorts participants who have been offered higher positions, such as Ani Ispirian, who is now the Deputy Minister of Economy, Haig Markarian, as we already mentioned, who is the Director of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. And this year, we also have Sisian Bogosian, who was appointed the chair of our tourism committee.
Now I want to direct that question to Hago and then Henri. Do you guys think 12 months is enough time to make a significant impact in the field?
Well, certainly more time is needed to see through the things that you put in place. But for example, with what I'm doing here in Artsakh, because it's a newly found department, so I'm creating the foundation of everything that this department will be doing. As you understand, this department will mainly communicate with the diaspora and the different humanitarian aid groups, that being, in Russia, the USA, Europe, and etc. So it's great that, this is a new department. So it's a fantastic opportunity for me to, lay out the foundation together with the help of Mr. Ardak Beglarian, the state minister, that he's a great visionary. He understands that we need the skill sets from the diaspora to set something like this up, because this is mainly, the communication that the Artsakh Republic will build for this different humanitarian aid groups that come and, do the work here in Artsakh. So, yeah, I certainly believe that, if more time was given, that would be a blessing. But I think even the 12 months that were given, yeah, Gassia is very correct. You lose a couple of months here and there, to kind of, find your footing, if you like. That being, for example, with me, I've never worked in the government sector. So for me, it's completely a different, way of working. But I think even with the few months that we get, we can.
Okay, it seems that we have lost Hagop for a few minutes. While Hagop reconnects, I'd like to actually point out a few more things about our program. This year, we also have alumni to the program. While we were the first cohort, we are now the alumni of the program. And most of us are very, very happy and willing to be assisting the new iGorts participants to actually integrate faster and to share our experience with them and to share our challenges with them and the advice that we have in order for them to be able to have a smoother onboarding into the program. Other than that, the iGorts program actually does have a good support system in place. Other than the support system that your fellow iGortsers can give you, the program itself actually has assessments both with the participants and with the job sites at least once a month in order to ensure that our participants are actually happy, satisfied. We are aware of all their challenges or most of their challenges, not only professionally, but also in adjusting to Armenia proper. And we try to assist them in every way possible in order for them to be able to have a fulfilling year throughout their iGorts program. Sarin, I'm giving this back to you.
You got it. Henri, I would like you to also share how you feel about the 12 months.
Yes. Well, I should say that the Film Heritage Department for which I work, just to explain a little bit, the National Cinema Center of Armenia is the agency for which I work for, which is itself under the Ministry of Culture. So that's the structure. And then within the National Cinema Center, the Film Heritage Department was founded in 2020, so less than a little more than 2 years ago. Because it's such a new department, so dealing with film heritage means dealing with classic Armenian cinema, with preserving, restoring, and promoting Armenian cinema, a lot of it from the Soviet period, some of it from the independence period. But this is a very new initiative, a very new cause to be working on. So in that sense, I think every day counts. I think there's a lot of progress I have been able to contribute to. There's a lot of progress that's been made in those 2 years that the Film Heritage Department has been founded. And in general, just like zooming out on a macro level, in terms of the cultural sector, I feel that there is a lot of progress to be made. At the same time, there's a lot of great initiatives that have been launched and are being launched. So I think it is enough time to make a difference. Certainly, it could be longer, and I think it depends on each particular iGorts participant and their experience. But you can certainly make a big difference within 12 months. I feel that I have already. Yeah, we can talk later about some of the initiatives that we've worked on. But you can certainly, yeah, I'd like to emphasize that.
Thank you guys all for your answers and all the good work that you guys are doing. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys do outside of work. Henri, how do you spend your free time in Armenia?
I was lucky to come here in September, and soon after I came, in October, the Golden Apricot Film Festival was being held. Usually it's held in the summer in July. Last year was a special case where it was held in October. Luckily for me, because otherwise I would have missed it, but it was a fantastic welcome, homecoming for me, because here I am in my home country, and attending its premier marquee film festival and getting to meet so many people. That was an incredible experience. And then the people that I met there continue to be my group of friends, close friends and colleagues. So in terms of my leisure time, I actually can't even divide it from my work, because what I do in my spare time is I watch a lot of movies. I talk to my friends about the movies that I watch. So I'm always constantly engaged with film. And beyond that, I try to stay active. I run, which has been a challenge finding green space, but I'm happy to say the Hrazdan Gorge, when you get here, you'll see that There's this unique gorge running through the entire city. And there is a really good running path, basically, that you can, and I do constantly run there. So that's just a good way to stay active and healthy. Yeah, that's pretty much my leisure time.
Thank you all for all that. Gasya is also a full-time student and an eGorts expert. So Gasya, will you explain if you do have free time, what do you do?
I actually don't have free time because our working hours are from 9 to 6, and then from 6:30 till 9:30 or 10, I have to go to AUA. I'm a second year MBA student. After the Beirut blast of August 4, the American University of Armenia, they quickly created an emergency fund for Lebanese Armenians that were studying there. And this was a great opportunity for me to have a financial aid. And it is one of the reasons that I take a lot of classes. I usually don't even have time to go out with my iGorts colleagues. But they are very active. They go everywhere. Whoever wants to join, I'm sure you will have very good friends, a very good network, and you will not be bored. Even though I'm living alone, my family is in Lebanon. I also want to spend some time alone, like to clean the house or anything. But the iGorts colleagues, they are there for me for everything, and the diaspora's office. They're like a second family.
Very impressive, Gasya. Ago, what is your favorite pastime in Artsakh? Because I'm sure it's different than in Yerevan.
There's not many places that you can go to in Artsakh. So, but there's the cultural sites and everything that, you know, on the odd weekend, you know, that although, yes, we've lost 75% of Artsakh, there's still 25%. Not everywhere is safe. So we kind of try and go to Mardagerd or Marduni. The furthest place that you can go in Artsakh at this moment of time is about 2.5 to 3 hours away. So, you know, on the weekends, it's either, you know, try and go somewhere in Mardagerd or Marduni to see something different, some cultural sites, you know, learn a little bit about more about Artsakh, what's left actually. Okay. And then, you know, try and find balance between, you know, work and also the things that you need to do at home. As you know, I work long hours. There's a lot of meetings. I'm also the assistant for Dr. Glarian, so there's meetings, you know, in every kind of, you know, hour, you know, that being very early in the morning or that being very late at night. So yeah, it's a demanding role. There's a lot to do, but you know, it's finding the perfect balance, which it can be challenging at times.
Thank you for sharing that, Hago. Karin, as the iGorts program manager, what is your favorite pastime?
Well, Sarin, the iGorts program doesn't leave me a lot of free time, but honestly, I feel that as an iGorts participant and now the program manager, iGorts is more than a job for me. It has become a kind of family, because also a lot of my free time is spent with past and current iGorts participants. I can truthfully say that 6 months after our first year has ended, most of the participants that are still in country are still in contact. We still are very aware of what is going on in each other's lives. We still hang out with each other and help each other when there is need. And we also meet each other, surprisingly enough, in the professional sphere from time to time. So it really becomes part of your life. And it's not only a 12-month duration that you're part of iGorts, but it continues with you in the future as well. And I see it as well with this year's iGorts participants. Everybody's very, very friendly. Everybody supports each other. And honestly, I also feel very lucky to be seeing and being part of this second year as well. The different cultures that iGorts has within it, the different perspectives, the different ideas, the different motivations. It really is an inspiration for me every day to come and continue working in the program and actually being part of this program.
It sounds like a family. So I want to thank you guys all for sharing. And I also think the audience would be very interested as to why you guys each chose to participate in the iGorts program. Let's start off with Gracia. Why did you choose it?
Yeah, so as I got accepted to AUA, the first year was online, so I did it from Lebanon, and then I needed to move to Armenia, and I really needed to find a job, and I followed the diaspora's office on Facebook, and I saw that they were having a live session, just like the one that we're doing now, and I listened to it. I got familiar with the program, and also heard a lot of success stories from it, and one more thing, that when we were in online Zoom class, we were discussing about how the diaspora can help Armenia, and other than the sending money, doing a foundation or anything else. So I think we can use our knowledge and expertise in a very good way, because if we think of all the good things that Armenians did outside of Armenia, if they would have done it in Armenia, it would have been a very good Armenia would have been in a very good place right now. So I think this is a first step. iGorts is a very good program, and I would just want to say that I'm very thankful for this program.
Thank you, Gracia. Agop and then Henri, we would love to hear what you guys have to say. Agop John, you are on mute.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I came exactly after the war. So we came to give out humanitarian aid to basically to the people of Artsakh. When I decided that, I fell in love with Artsakh, with the people of Artsakh, I decided that I wanted to stay and basically try and help and assist in every way possible. Now, I had known of the course program from people that had participated the year before, and they had encouraged me to apply. After going from the initial applications and etc. and all the interviews and everything, I spoke to the state minister, to Mr. Arda Beglarian. I told him of that I wanted to stay, and he basically requested from iGorts that I kind of get accepted and work here in Artsakh. So my motivation was, as I said, is try and make a change, try and put what I know in the institutions here, because it's important that we bring something and we give something back to our country. So it's iGorts, it's an amazing program to do that, because not only you can help your country, but also there's a support system. It's a family at the end of the day. Whatever you might need, from that being a silly thing, some information that you need in Armenia, or something that you need at work and everything. I can give you an example. Like I needed some stuff in my office. iGorts made it happen. So it can make things happen.
Thank you, Agop. And Henri, we would love to hear what you have to say as well.
Yeah, so in my experience, I have to go back to film again. And my background was such that I had a broad education in film history. But up until recently, let's say a couple of years ago, I wasn't that familiar with the cinema of my homeland, of Armenia and also Georgia. I was born in Tbilisi to Armenian parents, and so I had become somewhat familiar with Georgian cinema, but Armenian cinema was still a big blank spot for me. So I started looking into it. And then when I found the iGorts, the opportunity to not only continue to conduct research on Armenian cinema, but to do it in a professional capacity as part of an organization, the National Cinema Center of Armenia, it was like a match made in heaven, basically, to yes, to do kind of move my own personal goals and at the same time contribute to Armenia's the development of Armenia's film culture. And it's really been very rewarding in that sense. And I'd like to echo what Gasia and Hagop have said about how supportive iGorts has been throughout this whole time. They've definitely been super responsive, very professional, and reliable in all our communications. So it's definitely made my time here very pleasant and streamlined, if I can put it that way.
Thank you, Andre. I love your passion for film. And also throwing the question to Karin, what made you do iGorts in 2020?
I think like many diasporan Armenians, I had the need to do more than what I was doing back home in the diaspora. I was and still am an active member of my community back home. However, I felt that wasn't enough because whatever we were doing, I felt that I needed to know Armenia better in order to be able to actually be a better contribution to my country, as well as afterwards back in my community as well. I had come to Armenia for a few months in order to volunteer. And again, I felt that was not enough. And when the opportunity arose to actually apply to iGorts and try to be and try to make a contribution in a different and maybe more meaningful way, I took it. And never would I have thought that I would be working in the government of Armenia, but here we are. A year and a half later, I'm still here. And I hope to continue on doing my best in order to make sure that this program is a success.
Thank you, all of you, for sharing. Now, for the audience that is listening, what is one simple reason that you would give to someone as to why they should come to Armenia and do the iGorts program? I would love to start off with Gasia, as usual.
I think, like, as Karin said, I also had many volunteering programs in Armenia, but iGorts is like the dream program because you actually come and live here. You grow personally and professionally while you're also contributing to the development of Armenia, but also making friends from the diaspora and also getting familiar with the Armenians, with the local, and start understanding why some things are like that. For example, now I'm already mixing my Eastern and Western Armenian when I'm speaking. So it is a very good opportunity for everyone. I'm already recommending it for people to come. There are many people who applied, and I wish all the best luck for iGorts team. And Karinjan, I'm going to say it is a success, believe me.
John, I also mix my Eastern and Western, so I get it.
Yeah, it's getting crazy because some people are saying, "Where do you have an accent? But where are you from?"
Yeah, Hagop John, why is what is the reason you would tell people to apply to iGorts?
I think Hagop got
lost Hagop. Yeah, we lost.
And Henri, I'm directing the question towards you.
Sure, I'm happy to take it until Hagop comes back. Well, the tribulations of being in Artsakh, I guess. So in my case, or rather what I would like to kind of project to those who are applying for iGorts is that this is a wonderful opportunity to reconnect or to reconcile with your roots if you haven't had that opportunity yet, or this would certainly be the best and strongest opportunity to do so. It has been in my experience. It's not the same as just traveling or coming here with your family. This is the most meaningful way you can engage with your roots, with the future of the country, and feel empowered in the fact that you can make a difference here.
Thank you, Henri. Since Hagop is back, Hagop, what is the reason that the audience should hear that you have to say for people that want to come to Armenia, want to do iGorts?
Well, I think what Garcia said and what Henri said, it's spot on. People need to come. People need to come and put what they know, because Armenia is in need of that. Armenia and Artsakh is in need of that. We've got brilliant people here in Artsakh, in Armenia, but they don't have the experience, okay? And experience is key here, okay? Because there's things that we need to put in place, like procedural stuff and etc. That will make the difference, okay? And I think with Artsakh, for example, that key is the experience, that being in infrastructure, that being in simple communication, that being in know-how, all that is necessary. We lack, at least I'm going to talk about Artsakh because that's what I know. Although, they do learn everything at the universities, at school, and etc., they lack the experience in how to implement things. So bringing people, people coming out of, from different countries, bringing their knowledge, their out-of-the-box thinking sometimes does help. So I think that's the biggest thing that we can do by trying to implement the ideas and everything that we can bring from our experiences from the different countries that we come. That's a must here.
If I can just go off of what Hagop was saying, but more related to the cultural sector, I'd just like to say that if there's anybody listening or who hears this later and is involved in the arts and culture, I think we also similarly need more talent, more work in the development of the cultural sector in Armenia. There's a lot of opportunity here for people who have their own experiences to bring, their own talent to contribute. It's a very exciting time, basically, because it's not as saturated as other Western countries with all kinds of initiatives and nonprofits. This is the time where this kind of work is crucial and can make a difference in the cultural sector. So I encourage all those who have an interest to apply and make a difference.
Thank you. You guys have for sure even motivated me. I'm going to be applying. Karin, as an alumni of the program and now staff, what would you say to the audience for them to come and apply?
I think that throughout my year in iGorts, I also received as much as I gave. Living abroad, learning about Armenia from afar is very, very different than actually living in Armenia and experiencing it. I experienced my colleagues. I experienced the hardships that they go through on a daily basis. I learned about their hardships. And they were able to learn from me about the hardships that we as diaspora go through. I feel that is a very, very important bridge that we need to make between diaspora and between Armenia itself. And even if it's one step at a time, one iGorts participant at a time, it is a very, very important one. There's a very big need of different ways of thinking here. I think we all have a very, very big potential in order to help develop our country in our different ways. We all just need the motivation and we all just need the encouragement in order to do so. Come over. I hope we're motivating you and encouraging you in order to do so.
Thank you, Karin John. I think we should read a couple comments from our live audience. One of the commentators said, I wish you guys all great success. Not enough people know about it. Those who take the step are rewarded with so much growth personally, professionally, and in national spirit. My son Armin is finishing his second year at the economy ministry. And then another comment even says, I'm ready to apply myself. I have enjoyed the conversation. Greetings to all from Boston.
That's nice. We'll be waiting for everyone. And if you guys need any help applying, you can like talk to Karin or any of us and we can help you with everything.
I would like to also say thank you to Hago, Henri, Garcia, and Karin for joining us today. I hope this info session helps future participants get a better idea about the program and their future lives in Armenia. You can find the iGorts program contact information in the comment and our website, diaspora.gov.am. And then this info session will be posted on YouTube, Facebook, and on our website. So please follow our social media pages for more updates. And then last but not least, we will end with a bit of information that shows statistics about our current iGorts participants.